Welcome to our Northern Lights landscape artwork that we started last week. Can we all say landscape? Nice job. A landscape is a picture of nature and of the outside from far away. And we were looking at some of the pictures of the Northern Lights and how they create a shadow over the landscape of all of the North Pole when the Northern Lights happen. Today, we're going to be using some special chalk pastel to create the colorful part of our Northern Lights. Let's get started. After you finish gluing your landscape onto your blue paper for your sky, each table is going to get a box of chalk pastel. Chalk pastel is similar to either sidewalk chalk or chalk that you would write on the board with. However, it's much nicer because it's very bright and it has a nice smooth quality to it. So this is a lot more expensive than any sidewalk chalk or chalk that we would draw on the board with. That's why you get one box per table, and your table is in charge of taking really good care of my chalk pastel. When you are doing your Northern Lights, you can really only take one pastel at a time, but I did make groups of 3 colors on my artwork because we learned that the Northern Lights can really be a lot of different colors. So I'm going to start with a yellow, but you can really start with whatever you want. And I'm just going to do a basic swirl. And then I want to color it in a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm filling it in so that it's not very thick, but it is thicker than my one line. And you do need to press a little bit hard, but you shouldn't be pressing so hard that the chalk pastel breaks or gets messy. Next, I'm going to move on to a different color. So I would put my yellow back in my box and choose something else. So I'm going to choose an orange. And I'm going to color the orange right next to part of my yellow. Now, if you notice, I'm not really putting this down on the table because then the table is going to get messy. If you need to put these down on the table, you can get a little scrap sheet of paper to put them. So if you need to put them down, put them back in the box. Sometimes we get these little pieces, right, that fall off. Please don't blow any of the chalk. If you blow this, it could go in someone's eyes, right, or their nose, and that wouldn't be good. So I'm going to keep coloring with my orange right next to the yellow. And then maybe I'll switch colors one more time for this one and do a little bit of red and color it in. Now notice I am holding my chalk pastel with 3 fingers only. How many? 3. You can see I do have a little bit of chalk on my fingers, but I don't have any on the rest of my hand. We want to try to keep it neat. Next, I'm going to fill up the rest of my paper with some different swirls. All right, let's see what I can do. All right, so I almost finished my artwork, and I want to review one more time how I'm going to fill up my whole paper and fill up this last section. Right, so remember, when you take your chalk pastel, you can only take one at a time from your box, right? You're holding it with 3 fingers, right, to make your swirl, and you're coloring it in a little bit so you can see it against your paper. When I'm finished with my blue, I put it back, and then I can take another color. I really want to fill up my whole paper, but I do need to keep it neat. You will find that chalk pastel is very messy. And so therefore, if you put your hand or your arm or your elbow on top of the chalk, you will get a lot of chalk on you. It is almost like it's wet paint that never dries. It's so messy. So please be careful not to touch it with the rest of your hand. After you are completely finished filling up your paper, you're going to take one finger and you're going to start to smooth out just a little bit some of the chalk dust that has gotten onto your paper. Remember, because we're not blowing it. And this is going to make it look like it's glowing. So I'm just doing this a little bit. Now notice I'm using one finger and I'm just kind of tapping on my paper to blend my chalk together and make it look like it's glowing. Am I taking my whole hand and going all the way across really, really quick, all messy? No, I am just taking one finger and making it look like it's glowing. After you are totally finished with this step of your artwork, you are going to get a wipe for your hands so that you can clean up. Nice job and good luck.